Meeting will come to order. Welcome everyone to the June the 5th meeting of the Council County Commissioners. We'd like to begin with a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please stand for pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment, no public comments. Recognitions from any of the commissioners. I do have one group I'd like to recognize. I know it's very easy for us as individuals, not commissioners and public in general, to criticize. But I want to recognize our county employees and for the job that they do, and let them all know that this board is working for them as well as the taxpayer, and we'll do everything we can to help them. But to keep in mind, we have to balance that, what the taxpayer and voters tell us or want us to do. All right. Approval of the agenda. Cool, Lewis, Joe. Second. Motion is second. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Approval of consent agenda, which consists of the May the 12th budgets work session, the May the 15th Board of Education, and our regular meeting, the May the 18th joint town meeting minutes, and the May the 19th budget work session minutes. A motion and a second. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Motion carried unanimously. Okay, discussion item, budget, Mr. Miller.
Commissioners, we have, I have for you tonight, my budget message and a short PowerPoint that I don't know how short it is, but a PowerPoint that I'll share with you tonight. It's a lot of information. You have those materials in your budget books that were given to you tonight, along with the email that was sent out last week with the revenues and expenditures by department and as a whole. For the county. So with that being said, the next thing I'll say is all of these documents will be available on our website tomorrow in PDF form for anyone to view or look at. They'll also be available by hard copy in the clerk's office for anybody that wants to review the budget or the budget message or the PowerPoint. The clerk will have all of those. So if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman, I will start with my budget message.
Proceed.
This message is to the Caldwell County Board of Commissioners in accordance with the North Carolina Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act. I am pleased to present for your consideration the fiscal year 2024 recommended annual budget for Caldwell County. The budget is balanced, identifies revenues and expenditure estimates for FY 2024. And attempts to meet the needs of our community through excellent customer service. The recommended budget provides $39,143,000 in total expenditures across all funds, with a general fund total of $34,303,000. The proposed tax rate to support the FY 2024 budget is 75.4 cents per $100 assessed valuation, which is still the lowest tax rate among like counties in population evaluation. This rate includes a recommended increase of 1.9 cents above prior year adopted tax rate. The value of 1 penny on the tax rate is $173,653. The purpose of the budget message is to provide an understanding of the county manager's recommended budget. This document has been organized in the following sections to provide a foundation for decisions made in developing this budget. Economic considerations, long-term financial sustainability, budget development goals, general fund revenue, fund balance, general fund expenditure highlights, and a conclusion. So first, we'll begin with economic considerations. The last 3 years have been characterized by rapid, abrupt, and constant change resulting from the magnitude of the COVID-19 pandemic. Uncertainty continues as we transition to a new normal. Economic recovery has been uneven, with wage gains for many workers offset by the highest inflation rates in 4 decades, and the labor markets crippled by the Great Resignation. The best indicator of our local economy is sales tax. And for the FY 2021 through 2023, sales tax revenue significantly exceeded budget expectations due to the federal pandemic funding that boosted disposable income. Sales have remained strong during FY 2023, but growth may be beginning to slow down to pre-pandemic levels. Another important economic factor is inflation. Nationally, inflation has averaged 8.6% over the prior year and is finally trending down from a 40-year high of more than 9% last June. Inflation increased cost of goods and services, and rising interest rates continue to reduce disposable income. Long-term financial sustainability. Given the context of the last 3 years, it is clear that we face uncertainty and unpredictable future challenges. The new normal is evolving, although Caswell County has preserved through the persistent impacts of the pandemic and the economic storms. Financial sustainability continue to pose a real challenge for the foreseeable future. The rising cost of employer retirement costs, operating expenses, salary pressures to remain competitive, and increased demand for services outweigh available recurring revenue. The recommended budget funds expenditures for FY 2024, and this recommended budget begins building the foundation for long-term financial sustainability to build a resilient organization. Financial stability can only be achieved through fiscal discipline, achieved through a healthy balance between revenues and expenditures. Continued reliance on one-time fund balance as revenue source to balance the budget is not financially sustainable. The following actions are recommended to create the foundation of fiscal discipline. Recurring expenditures are added only to the extent that available recurring revenue is identified. Develop a fund balance policy identifying the minimum level of percentage of fund balance to be maintained to ensure cash flow, adequate funds for emergencies or adverse financial events. Fund balance is appropriated to fund only one-time expenditures in compliance with the fund balance policy. Identify short and long-term goals to guide the allocation of limited resources to ensure a solid base of core services to achieve excellent customer service. The recommended tax increase of 1.9 cents is the first step in reducing the county's reliance on using one-time fund balance as a revenue source to fund recurring expenditures. The 1.9 cent increase is dedicated for debt repayment of the Bartlett Yancey Senior High School expansion and renovation project. This tax increase aligns with the information shared with the citizens regarding a tax increase to support the project as they consider the bond referendum. This increase will currently add $33.54 to the property tax bill of the median homeowner in Caswell County. The county will be conducting the statutorily mandated property revaluation during FY 2024, which will be effective with the FY 2025 budget. Given that median home prices soared and hit an all-time high in 2022, Property taxes are expected to increase significantly through the revaluation. Other counties have experienced value increases ranging from 40 to 80%. Revaluation is linked to achieving fiscal discipline as the board reports the revenue neutral rate and considers the property tax rate that supports the mission of providing services and achieves long-term financial sustainability. Budget development goals. The FY 2024 recommended budget has been developed to maintain current service levels, fund mandated expenditure increases, and address the ongoing challenges with staffing shortages. The following budget goals were identified in creating this budget. Address recruitment and retention through market adjustments. Create the foundation for a successful 2025 property revaluation. Limit the reliance on fund balance as a revenue source for recurring expenditures. And fund maintenance and repairs for county facilities. General fund revenue. Ad valorem taxes. The largest revenue source in the general fund is ad valorem taxes, representing almost 39% of the total budgeted revenue. These taxes are based on the combined values for real property, personal property, and motor vehicles of $1.76 billion. Ad valorem taxes for FY 2024 are budgeted at $13.5 million, an increase of $2.5 million or 18.52% over the FY 2023 budget amount, but are within projections for current year receipts. Sales tax. During FY 2021 through FY 2023, we experienced significant growth in sales tax collections averaging 12%. With the elimination of federal stimulus funding and rising inflation, disposable income has declined during FY 2022, and we project annual growth to be closer to the levels prior to March 2020. Sales taxes are budgeted at $6.6 million, an increase of $64,712 or 0.09%, not quite 1%. Fund balance appropriated. The Local Government Commission recommends local governments maintain a minimum of 8% undesignated fund balance. However, to achieve long-term financial sustainability and due to the significant statutory responsibilities that counties have, it is prudent to maintain an amount higher than the minimum of 8%. Over the last several years, the board has relied on fund balance, one-time funds, as a revenue source to balance the budget. This is not financially sustainable. Per the FY 2020 audit, the unassigned fund balance is $3.8 million or 13.5%. Since fund balance has been appropriated to support recurring expenditures, the fund balance forecast for FY 2021 through 2024 projects the unassigned fund balance will be reduced to approximately 9%. To begin the process of reducing reliance on fund balance and matching recurring expenditures with recurring revenue, the total fund balance appropriation is limited to $2.8 million, $1.7 million for recurring expenditures, and $1.1 million for one-time items. General fund expenditure highlights. Local government employees retirement system, leggers, employer rates. Under the direction of the state treasurer's office, the leggers board voted to increase the system's employer contribution by 1.2% for multiple years beginning in FY 2020. This mandated increase addresses a significant system funding shortfall expected in future years. The recommended budget includes additional funds in the amount of $156,000, which represents a 1% increase in the employer rate for law enforcement officers and 0.75% for all other employees. New positions. The recommended budget includes the following 3 new positions. Funds in the amount of $46,645 are budgeted for salary and fringe benefits for a scale house attendant in the solid waste fund. The recommended budget includes funds in the amount of $160,770 for the communications officer and grants manager. Solid waste scale house attendant. The board has concerns regarding illegal dumping in the county and convenience sites and has directed the solid waste director to address this issue. Our solid waste function has 3 full-time positions, which limits the director's ability to tackle this significant community concern. The duties of this new position will include scale house and administrative functions, which will allow the director to allocate more time to illegal dumping. Communications officer. An important tenet of good governance is transparency. Transparency is achieved through communication with the citizens. Previously, local governments relied on the print media to follow and report on local government actions. Today, most local governments have hired their own public communication staff to make sure the citizens have accurate and timely information. This new position is recommended to provide transparency through creating press releases as well as written and digital content to ensure the citizens are properly informed about county events and actions. Grants manager. Grant writing, tracking, and reporting takes a significant amount of time and expertise to remain competitive and to ensure compliance. Currently, we rely on county departments to seek grant opportunities, write and prepare the grant applications, and to monitor grant compliance. This has become very difficult to accomplish with limited resources and continued position vacancy. This new position is recommended to assist departments in seeking grant opportunities that align with their departmental mission. The grants manager will help the departments in preparing the grant application, tracking performance, reporting, and compliance. Recruitment and retention. The outside assessment conducted during FY 2022 of our recruitment and retention challenges identified deficiencies in our pay practice. The study found that our starting salaries are lower in most classifications as compared to our counterparts, thus adding to our recruitment challenges. From a retention standpoint, the study revealed that we have significant salary compression, which means that many long tenured employees are paid very close to the minimum salary or close to their peers who have minimal experience or years in their position. In addition, our cost of living adjustments have not kept pace with the consumer price index or pay adjustments awarded by competing employers over the years. The FY 2023 budget includes the following actions in response to the salary study. Minimum starting salary for all positions, $30,000. Increase of 0.5% for every year of service. Increase all salaries to 90% of the study minimum. Minimum increase for all employees is 7%. Increase of 2% for all employees over $60,000. An additional 5% for all employees over $60,000 that was later approved. All that took place last year and is included in this budget. These actions approved by the board last year were a step in the right direction to recognizing that our employees are our greatest asset. We are a service organization, and experienced, talented employees are the key to efficient and compassionate service to the citizens of Castle County. We have challenged our staff to do more with less, and persistent vacancies have forced staff to take on additional workloads. We are not immune from the recruitment and retention challenges faced by other local governments and the private sector. Local governments have been forced to raise their minimum pay and evaluate and change their pay practices and benefits to remain competitive. This dynamic has created additional challenges for the county as employees can seek higher pay, attractive benefits, and reduce caseloads or work levels to achieve that work-life balance. Caswell County has struggled to recruit and retain experienced staff in our public safety departments that serve our citizens on the front lines. Therefore, for public safety, I'm recommending a 15% market adjustment and 5% for all other employees. The labor market continues to be volatile with rapidly changing dynamics. As other employees continue to evaluate pay and benefit structures and increase salaries, Caswell may fall further behind in market salary comparisons. In this environment, we are forced to continually survey the employment market and ensure we have a competitive compensation and benefit structure that recognizes and values our employees, our greatest asset, maintenance and repair of county facilities. The recommended budget includes an appropriation of $1,343,676, which represents an increase of $328,230. This increase is to fund needed repairs and maintenance to protect the county's investment in our public facilities. Capital outlay. Funding in the amount of $1,649,799 is recommended for capital outlay purchase. This represents an increase of $10,291 over the prior year's adopted budget. The Board of Education requested current expense funding of $2,724,228, which represents an increase of $124,228 or 4.8%. The current expense allocation has remained constant for the last 4 years. The schools have not been immune from the negative impacts of inflation in purchasing, supplies, materials, and in their utility bills. The recommended budget includes their requested 4.8% increase, recognizing that inflation has hovered inflation has hovered around 8% for more than a year. Funding for capital outlay is recommended at $465,000, the same as the FY 2023 adopted amount. The recommended budget includes current expense funding for Piedmont Community College in the amount of $417,271, an increase of $44,256 or 10.8%. Capital outlay funds are budgeted at $505,000, an increase of $390,000 over the FY 2023 adopted budget. This increase is needed to fund a HVAC replacement. Conclusion. The FY 2024 recommended budget is presented for your review and consideration as you develop an adopted budget. This budget preserves our core services, recognizes employees as our greatest asset, and begins setting the foundation for long-term financial sustainability. The Board of Commissioners' commitment to resiliency, fiscal prudence, and long-term sustainability will be the stabilizing factor in our ability to improve our financial position and weather future events. The last 3 years have been plagued by uncertainty and instability caused by the pandemic, inflation, supply chain delays, and labor shortages. Navigating this ongoing crisis has been a team effort, and our employees have persevered through personal sacrifice and dedication to the citizens of Caswell County. I cannot thank our employees enough for their hard work and willingness to serve our community. They truly are our greatest asset. Thank you to all county departments and finance in developing this budget under continued pressures and unprecedented circumstances. Respectfully submitted, Brian Miller, County Manager, Caswell County, North Carolina. So, Mr. Chairman, if it's okay with you, we'll dive right into your PowerPoint presentation. So once again, you each have a copy of this presentation. So, budget presentation overview, budget objectives. What are we trying to accomplish with the budget? Revenue overview. We look at major revenue sources, expenditures, how resources are allocated. The total general fund is $34,303,000. Total budget for all funds, $39,143,000. There is a proposed 1.9 cent increase in the property tax rate. Recommended tax rate of $75.40 per $100 of assessed property value, which remains the lowest among like counties. And like counties, again, as I've explained many times before, are counties that are like us in population and valuation. It's unfair to use just one of those to assess how we are alike. You really have to use both of those to do that. So long-term financial sustainability. We need to develop a fund balance policy. That will be a guiding force for the board. It establishes targets for total and unassigned fund balances and ensures positive cash flow and reserves for unanticipated events. We have a property revaluation. It's an opportunity to consider a property tax rate that supports excellent service and long-term financial sustainability. So budget objectives guiding the process. Address recruitment and retention challenges, particularly a concern in public safety. Limit the reliance on fund balance for recurring expenditures. Maintain service levels and invest in maintaining facilities. Create a foundation for a successful 2024 property revaluation and tax rate reset for FY 2025. So here's kind of a breakdown of our general fund revenues. You can see that property taxes are our largest source of revenues, about 39.5%. And then you look intergovernmental revenues, 22%. Sales tax at 21.7%, charges for services 5.7%, other revenues 0.5%, permits and fees 2.5%, and appropriated fund balance 8.2%. Property taxes. The total assessed value for Caswell County is $1.76 billion. Assessed value allocation by property tax type. You look at real property at 79%, motor vehicles at 12%, public service corporations at 6%, and personal property at 3%. So this is just a graph showing you the sales tax. And as I spoke about in the budget presentation, you can see the sharp incline over the last several years. But if you look between FY 2023 and FY 2024, you start to see those levels flatten. That's why I think we need to be incredibly conservative when we look at how we are budgeting for our FY 2024 sales tax outlook. And here again, we've got Article 39, Article 40, Article 42, and Article 40. So a fund balance forecast. So you can see that in 2021, our unassigned fund balance, or our total fund balance, fiscal year 2020, our total fund balance was $9,879,513. 2021, it grew to $11,879,513. We kept that flat for 2023 because I would rather wait until we got the audited financial statements to provide that information. We kept it flat, saying that we used all of that fund balance. I do not believe we used all of the fund balance appropriated in those years. So I truly believe our fund balance percentage is higher for 2022 and 23, at least for 2022. 2023, we still had $11,879,513. And in 2024, with the $2.8 million in the recommended budget, the fund balance is reduced to $9,059,297, which is 26.4% total fund balance and almost a 9% fund balance for unassigned fund balance. So we'll move on to expenditures. So these are general fund expenditures by function. So they total $34.3 million. And as you can see, human services, $10,027,445 is our largest function of expenditures. We then look towards public safety, which follows very, very closely behind, followed by general government, debt service, education is $4,166,502. Cultural and recreation is $845,127. Special appropriations $367,000. So that's just a really quick breakdown of the general fund expenditures and how they're allocated by function. So general fund expenditures by type. And this again, $34.3 million. You can see salary and benefits make up the vast majority of our expenditures at $19,510,745. Capital outlay at $929,000. Contractual services at $2 million. Materials and supplies at roughly $2.8 million. Grants and aid, $459,000. Debt service, $1,978,276. Transfers out, that's $2,942,310. Client services, $1,964,957. Other services, $763,170. And education, $4,166,502. So an investment in employees. Public safety, 15% increase. General employees, 5% increase. Roughly 300 positions, 112 of which are public safety positions. The increases total $1.4 million, which is 3.5% of the budget. Education funding, Caswell County School. Fully funds a request of $2,779,228, a 4.7% increase over FY 2023. It continues funding of a social worker position. Piedmont Community College increased capital funding by $390,000 for HVAC replacement. Operating increase of $44,256 for a total funding of $922,274. So we have next we have the special appropriations. We have the Arts Council in my recommended FY 2024 budget. We have $3,000. The Animal Protection Society at $185,400. Caswell County Partnership for Children, $3,000. Caswell Parish, $15,000. Cooperative Forestry Services, $85,824. The Local Foods Council is $4,000. Caswell County Historical Foundation, $19,500. Caswell Horticulture Club, 6,500. CGMBA County Outreach Ministries at 20,000. And the Milton Renaissance Foundation at 25,000. So next we move on to fire. Excuse me, fire tax district funding. 1.45 million for 10 districts. No change in the proposed in the tax rate, which is 3.69 cents per $100 evaluation. Transfers from general fund of 31,500, motor vehicle fee of 315,480, sales tax 199,000, motor vehicle taxes 62,800, and property taxes of 536,220 dollars. New funds to budget. As a result of GASB 84 changes, certain funds must now be budgeted separately. We will bring in a budget amendment forward to adjust for current fiscal year at the June 19th meeting. The DSS trust fund at 125,000, fines and forfeitures at 75,000. Inmate trust funds at 25,000, register of deeds remittances at 25,000, and municipal tax collections at 660,000. Total FY 2024 recommended budget, all funds. So the general fund is 34,303,000 recommended. Special fire district 1,145,000. Revaluation fund 200,000. Emergency telephone system fund 420,000. Capital reserve school construction at 68,000. Solid waste management fund 1,621,000. Casual division of transportation 591,000. DSS custodial fund, 125,000, inmate trust fund, 25,000, special separation allowance at 160,000, municipal tax fund is 600,000, fines and forfeitures at 75,000, and the register of deeds remittance fund at 25,000. Okay, so key points. Number one, Caswell has the lowest tax rate among 10 counties that are most like us. Point two, Caswell has the lowest effective tax rate among neighboring counties. Point three, Caswell has not undertaken a revaluation in 8 years. Our usual schedule is 4 years. There has been no reset for purposes of taxation. Caswell has not experienced a tax increase in 3 years. Point four, the recommended tax increase of 1.9 cents is the first step in reducing the county's resilience or reliance on using one-time fund balance as a revenue source to fund recurring expenditures. The 1.9 cent increase is dedicated for debt repayment for Bartlett Yancey Senior High School expansion and renovation project. This tax increase aligns with the information shared with the citizens regarding a tax increase to support the project as they considered the bond referendum. This increase will currently add $33.54 to the property tax bill of the median homeowner in Caswell County. So we're at our last slide. Thank goodness. So this is what we propose for our next steps. Today, June 5th, we had the budget message at a regular meeting. June 9th, a budget work session. June 12th, we have another budget work session if it's needed. June 19th, hold a public hearing. And after the public hearing, on June 19th, adopt the FY 2024 budget. Anything and everything that I've given you and said to you tonight is my recommendation. Now, the budget's in your hands, you have a complete budget, you have a budget message, you know why the recommended budget is what it is. You have the data to support the analysis. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have about my budget message or the recommended budget, either one.
Well, I'd like to say, we asked you for a line item. Where it's been, what the cost to date is a month ago, we still don't have it. Ms. Jennifer says she has it, I'm coming over tomorrow afternoon to get it. If you think we can go through this for a meeting, I don't see it. So I think we will not be through your schedule. We have two people starting here tonight to know what their schedule is. So I would say we need time to talk to these other commissioners and see what we get worked out. Don't need to meet with that. I would think.
And that's perfectly fine. We'll make ourselves available to meet with you as much as you'd like.
One question, Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir.
On your salary increases slide you showed, the $1.4 million.
Yes, sir.
Is that just salary or is that salary and fringe?
That's salary improvement.
Any other questions from any board members tonight on the budget? Then we'll be back here Friday morning, right? Night, Friday morning.
If that pleases the board, if the board wants to pick another day and do something different, that's perfectly fine.
I doubt John will be here. Does anybody know about this meeting?
I'm not sure.
This Glenn, I don't know. Did anybody talk to him?
No, I was only informed that she wasn't going to be here tonight when I got here tonight, but we're happy to reach out and touch base with her.
Get started.
Yeah, does Friday morning suit everyone that's here tonight? So Friday morning will work.
Okay.
We'll go with that one and we'll go from there.
Sure, absolutely.
Anything else on the budget for tonight? We'll dig into it. Start in depth Friday morning.
9 o'clock.
Here, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, there's nothing else. Any other updates, Mr. Miller?
Yes, I have 2 updates really quick. As most of you may know, Castle County employees experienced tremendous loss over the weekend in the death of Chief Atkins. Michael Atkins had served as in our sheriff's office for 28 years. He was a dare officer, touched the lives of many children going up through the school system, and was a dedicated employee of Castle County and to the sheriff's office. Aside from that, Michael Atkins was a good man. I think that's the most important thing. So having said that, we have been asked to present a flag on to the family, to the Atkins family at the funeral. And I think it appropriate that one of the board members present that flag on behalf of Grateful County to his family. So with that being said, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask the board if there's any representative from the board that would like to present the flag to the Atkins family.
I would love to do it, or we work together for 20 years. Good relationship.
Okay, so Commissioner Rose would present the flag.
I'll make a motion, let Mr. Rose present the flag, have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, let it know, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Commissioners. The second update I have is I just want to let the board know that the NCACC has asked me, risk management pool has asked me to attend in July, a conference being held on reinsurance and our reinsurance rates held by our reinsurance carriers in Boise, Idaho. So, if all expenses will be covered by the NCACC, none of the expenses will be incurred by the county. It's a privilege that the NCACC has asked me to attend this meeting. If it's okay with the board, I'll do that in the latter part of July.
Any objections from anyone?
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for the manager? Commissioner comments? Hearing none, motion to adjourn be in order. So moved. Motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Thank everyone. Meeting adjourned.